Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options in Play video update. So as we continue to kind of power higher here, right? We are starting to resolve to the top of that consolidation. It's good because I was just about, uh, at the point where I was just getting sick of talking about the SPY and 280, 282. So it looks like we're finally starting to go higher. Um, We are at kind of like a maybe like what you would call a lull before the earnings season really gets going. So we have the banks at the end of next week, and like the more interesting names are a little bit fewer and farther between uh, this week and the start of next week. Um, but that's why kind of have to wait for things that are unscheduled. Maybe be a little bit lighter, a little bit more nimble on overall action, just because you might not get that news-driven volume, right? Um, that's one of the things I've been noticing is the volume has been a little bit lighter on this move. So that's probably because we don't really have the news headlines accompanying it. So maybe be a little bit lighter, a little bit more nimble, and then soon enough, earnings season is going to get going and things are going to pick back up pretty quickly. Um, so this isn't an earnings story, Disney, right? But we are just about 1 week from their investor day, okay? And this is, if not the biggest catalyst for Disney this year, definitely one of the biggest catalysts. And really, everybody wants to know what Disney Plus is going to look like, and to get more details on it. Right? Yeah, so it's a streaming service. This has been the story on Disney for basically like the last year. Once people started to turn their focus more towards the streaming service and how it was going to compete with the Netflixes and the Primes and the Hulus, right? People wanted to know more details, and Disney's been holding off, kind of giving snippets here and there. But now, uh, April 11th is kind of like the day where they're going to debut it and give some more information on it. And it's really a pretty significant catalyst because for the most part, Disney just really has not been doing a whole lot, right? The reason I was looking at it last year basically was for a resolution of this kind of long pennant that had formed, right? So let's see here. I draw the lines. It's had this really nice pennant, and it started to go right, and then it just kind of had a false breakout, and then rolled over. Then looked like it was going to go again, and then rolled over, and then this was back in December, and it broke down, and then it snapped back up. So if I can extend the lines through this year, you can see that it actually did hold the bottom of the pennant, right? So December it dropped, held the bottom, and now it's hanging out above it again. So net, the trade continues to look bullish, right? So it's holding above this pennant formation, but it's stuck underneath this 120 area, which you can see has been a really obvious area of resistance. A little bit of a double top 2015, 2016, and then when it got up to it at the end of last year, it wasn't able to trade through it. So um, positive signs, but still has some work to do, right? And what's really interesting, and the reason why I wanted to be in it is like if it did start to go, I mean, there could be a really significant pent up move here because this is a stock that, for the most part, hasn't done a whole lot in the last few years, right? 2015. It's not even back to the highs from where it was 4 years ago. So, uh, a market that's up considerably in the same time frame. A name like Disney, where it's fairly cheap, kind of like a household name, so it gets like that retail interest, right? There could be a really nice, significant pent up move here, and this streaming service is really what everybody's focused on, and that's why next week is going to be should be a significant catalyst for the stock. So I was just looking at options through next week, and you can tell just by the pricing that people are very interested in this, right? So um, we have next week's. Show you right now. So we have this is this is the Disney straddle for next week, and you can see that say we'll go with like the 112 contracts here. It's pricing in about say like 380 in that ballpark, 380 to 390 right here, right? So just under $4, and then going out just one extra week, that same straddle, right, is only about 450. So you can see that a lot of the near-term implied volatility is built into options for next week for that investor day. So the straddle through next week is about 380 to just, we could say $4. So looking for about $4, which actually is might end up being more than what is even priced in for earnings once those actually come around, because it hasn't been as big of a mover on earnings recently. So this investor day next week is really going to be significant. I mean, $4 wouldn't quite put it back up into the 120 range, but it would certainly get it going in that direction, right? And then if things start to build and people start to buy into the story and it gets through 120, a measured move. So my quick measured move targets, a 10% measured move through 120 is the low 130s. Okay, so this could build quick, but considering this thing hasn't really gone anywhere for several years, I mean, you could be looking at a move up into the 140s, even 150. There was a 150 price target from an analyst just this week. So don't be surprised if this thing starts to go, if momentum doesn't really start to build fast. So definitely keep your eye on it. Like I said, there isn't a whole lot of scheduled news the remainder of this week and the start of next week, but April 11th, you have the Disney Investor Day, and that's going to be significant. And then right after that, so on the 12th, you're going to get J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo earnings. So things are going to pick up quick. And even though this isn't an earnings story, it's definitely still a big catalyst. So something you should keep on your radar. All right. So let me know what you guys think about Disney. Everybody's got an opinion about Disney, the Mouse House, right? I feel like personally, like this has like all of the makings of one of like those names that could turn into a Momo mover. It needs to get through this 120 area, and then it could be off to the races. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. All right, so definitely reach out. Also, any questions or comments about any trades that are open or any trades that are coming up. I'd always love to hear from you guys, so don't hesitate to shoot me a message, all right? So I hope you guys have an awesome night, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.